What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the extended edition action. Spawning on the left side of the map, in the blue color, playing as Oranos. His name is Tigerboss. His opponent today, in the red color, playing as the almighty Fuji. His name is AC the Great. We've got an action-packed series and tournament for you today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Baldr's Betrayal tournament. Very exciting stuff here, to be sure. This is with meta plays. If you haven't checked out meta plays, you will want to go and check out meta plays if you want some more high-level tournament stuff. For example, they host games or tournaments on Age of Empires 4, Age of Mythology, StarCraft 2, Spellforce 3, Warcraft 3, Halo Wars, all of the stuff. They do it pretty much. It's a really exciting thing and a great initiative. Before we go on, let's talk a little bit about what's a little bit different here. We're zoomed out. I haven't tried this before. Let me know if you guys like what you're seeing here. I downloaded some mods to change things up. We've got all of the shenanigans over here. I'll just leave it on the resources tab for the most part. Change it around. Let me know if this is in the way or not, and we'll see what we can do about it. There's not a lot we can do about it. What I would love to actually see is if the resources would just pile along this, like on the top, and be nice and positioned. This thing over here goes away when you've got the observer commands on, and you just have a blank screen with the resources at the top. I feel like that would be possible for the UI designers. Maybe we'll have a go at it at some point. Anyways, onwards and upwards. Taking a look at what's happening here. AC the Great going in with a Fuji. So if you guys aren't aware, Fuji did get some pretty significant nerfs in the meta plays balance patch, and these nerfs hit the Immortal quite severely, going up to 3 population, also increasing the train time on the Immortal so that it takes a long time to come out of the town center, so hurting the early game. So hurting the early game and hurting the late game technically here for Fuji. However, the Scout Cavalry was reworked just a little bit. So Scout Cavalry reworked means that they're a little bit better against archers, a little bit, and they're no longer good against villagers. So they're less of a raiding unit and more of a counter archer unit. So they become a very viable unit to be building in the classical age. So we'll see what's going to happen here. Not only that, Huang Di also saw some nerfs with the nerf to his god power, Call to Arms. Used to give 4 free units, now only gives 3 free units and a myth unit. So it's going to be still really, really strong if you hold on to it and want to get yourself like a heroic age myth unit or a mythic age myth unit. But in the early stages of the game, just makes it a little bit less oppressive. Only an extra 3 units can really not matter all too much. Now, Tigerboss here, going in with his Oranos, advancing through Prometheus. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. The question is going to be, what is Tigerboss going to go for in this game? If I'm playing Oranos in this matchup, I have this feeling that I really do not want to make Terma at all. There's a world in which I can build like 2 military barracks and make out myself pure Murmillo here and be okay against like the Immortal push and stuff. Just pull back into my base, jump onto the non-existent goats that I've found, and make pure Murmillo, and then push out and grab my hunt a little bit later once I'm feeling a little bit more safe. But right now, we are seeing the Immortals are coming through. Stable War Academy getting dropped down. This is just standard Fuji theory against Oranos. These Immortals are absolutely huge. 9.9 damage. They can shoot at ranged heroes and they can melee down or I should say ranged heroes. I say they can shoot at ranged units and melee down everything else. As the villager will be returning back to its home base, this manor is now under fire. Going to take a lot of damage. In the main base for Tigerboss, we are seeing military barracks, counter barracks, and another military barracks going down. I'm not sure what the 3 military buildings are for here, but we'll see how it's going to go. The Promethean offspring coming in, going to be bashing away those Scout Cavalry here as AC the Great moves forward, going to start shanking down those Promethean offspring as they will be retreating away, and now the citizens are going to be pulling off of that caribou. There is a back berry bush over here that he can jump onto, as well as the goats in this position are going to be an option as well. We are now seeing just a handful of units coming out for Tigerboss. I'm really interested in what he's going to be trying to do here. We do see the Valor being cast there, getting 3 Hero Murmillo out. And now we come over here and we see the mana about to be taken down, which is really going to hurt Tigerboss, because right now he does have the wood, but just barely, but not the gold to build a mana. So he's now going to be kind of population block with his 99% on the heroes and everything else. We do see this raid now coming in, going to be hitting AC the Great's villages. AC deciding to do a bit of a turnaround, taking this fight just a little bit here, as he's going to attempt to shank these units down. But the villagers at this point too strong, and we do see 1 Murmillo hero going down. The rest of those villagers still alive as they're moving straight forward. They want to be on top of these walrus as best as they possibly can. Meanwhile, we are seeing Tigerboss, he's got himself the mana down. The question is where to next? Where does he feel comfortable going to? He's going to be pulling off of the wood there, off the food, I should say, moving forward. Going to attempt to get onto these walrus over here, but the scout cavalry are already over here. However, they do have a very low line of sight, and they have actually missed the citizen moving in onto this position here. As the scout cavalry are going to be retreating away, we see a mana getting dropped. Tigerboss definitely hurting for resources at the moment. So too is AC the Great with lots of gold in the bank. Not sure how that happened. He's got a ton of gold in the bank, and he actually hasn't thrown down a garden, which is a really big mistake. He's on berries. Berries, you can get this technology out of the storage pit for Fuji only, called domestication. And this actually increases your chicken berry duck gather rate, so your berry gather rate by 30%. Which means that they are gathering faster than herdables would gather. Now, then you can also get husbandry and domestication and make your herdables gather at that similar rate. But it's really, really important. That is a very key upgrade for Fuji, which makes Fuji go from strong to busted. So it's really important to be focusing on getting that one by throwing down an early garden, which we haven't seen just yet by AC the Great. As he does move in here, the Murmillo are out. The Scout Cavalry will have to be pulled back. And now Tigerboss seems to have dealt with the early game problem that Oranos players normally suffer from by simply just pulling back, eating his berries, playing slowly, and just getting into this position. He's now in front on the population. It might be worthwhile for AC the Great to actually go in with some some Choconu here, because they're going to be able to take out the enemy Murmillo really, really easy, because there's really not that many Terma here. So it will be a bit of a reaction. Normally I would say stay away from the Choconu, as we do see a shockwave coming in as the villagers get kind of out of position there. Tigerboss not wanting to take too much damage, and AC going to have to pull back. He is missing a house or two at this point, needs to get those down. Unfortunately, this Immortal is in the wrong position, and we do see that the garden is down for AC the Great, as he's about to come in with that 5 favor and be able to afford his domestication upgrade, which will shoot his food income into the stratosphere, as he's just about to finish up on this final walrus. And he does have berry bushes right in the middle of the map, which would be well worth going on to with domestication as well. As the villagers move forward over here, population differential is really, really high here, and a very, very big advantage for AC the Great. These halberdiers don't really cut the mustard against the Murmillo in these fights at this point. We are seeing some Choconu coming in to help out, but I have a big feeling that Tigerboss is going to come out with a significant advantage at the end of this fight, as AC the Great just does not realize how strong this army is, as his Scout Cavalry do manage to get onto the back of those Terma. We'll be picking those off, but the population for AC the Great has fallen down to 70 here, as Tigerboss is still sitting at a very, very calm 109. AC going to be pulling back. Game's not over just yet for AC. He does still have a big god power in the Mythic Age if he can get there, and he's got all of his resources in the bank. If we take a good look at what the peasants have got here, they still don't have domestication. It is the most important technology after hunting dogs, I would say, for Fuji to get. As he does pull back his villagers, the Murmillo out en masse are just absolutely brutal here, as the War Academy is going to get torn down as well. If we take a quick look at the stat differential between a Halberdier and a Murmillo, you see 110 HP, 7 damage, 35% hack, versus the Murmillo, which is 8 damage, about 110 HP as well, and 35 hack. So the difference really is just only 1 damage per second, which does end up being a lot in the big fights. So you do need to be able to work out how you're going to deal with these Murmillo when you're in this situation. And obviously, I think the best idea is to get out those Choconu, which we are slowly seeing here, I guess. Not really, just still Halberdiers. As the Murmillo are going to push in here. There are still 2 gold mines to be gathered from. The villagers still mining away or chopping away at that wood here. We do see domestication has come through now. These villagers are going to be finishing up the herdables very fast, but Tigerboss is not finished. He is going to be going through to the heroic cage. One of the best ways to play Oranos in the one town center game when you get rushed, or if you get anything like that, is to just go 115 population and race to the mythic cage. It's so strong. Early Tartarian gates against one town center opponents can end up giving you the biggest advantage in the game. As we do see that these scout cavalry coming through for AC the Great, they used to be good raiders, but look at them now. 5 damage per second is really not that much. He might be able to surround one of these citizens, but there is a nice retreat path here if the citizen wants to. Maybe it can't actually get through, but it doesn't even matter because the Murmillo come in. The scout cavalry don't do any damage. I think if that was pre-nerf or pre-change, if you want to think about it as a buff, pre-change scout cavalry, that citizen may have died there, but not happening in this game, as those scout cavalry will be retreating away. We see a second town center now coming down for Tigerboss. He's already 85% of the way through Hyperion. And the big secret to using Hyperion in this matchup is to hold it for the myth units. You can't use it otherwise. You want to use it straight away when you see your opponent go through to the heroic age and hit that whichever unit they pick, the Scalamander or whatever it's called, Salamander, or the other thing which I don't remember, the Jiangshi. Is that what it is? Or Pixiu or Jiangshi is the options here. So one of those two, or also hold it for the dragon or the Vermilion bird is very, very important here. As AC is going to be moving forward, I'm going to be checking out those Murmillo that are just holding tight here, ready to push back in. They still have the big advantage here in this fight, as we do see a very panicky AC the Great dropping. Actually, no, he did not drop the call. No, he did drop the call to arms. He did not drop the call to arms. He got Chaos there, and he just pulls back. So the Chaos hits the Stone Soldier, which is not going to be the best of usages there, but still does a little bit of damage, pulling back. Tigerboss is going to be well on his way. And now the question is, we are seeing Zongq coming through. So Zongq's got a couple of good usages for the Fuji player. The Fuji master, Zongq, is going to allow Fuji to get himself very, very strong halberdiers. You can basically get yourself this upgrade here, which is called Unbridled Anger, which effectively gives the halberdier like 20% extra HP, which almost makes them able to go up to champion or feel like they're at the champion upgrade in the heroic age, which can be a really, really strong thing to do. So we'll see if that's what he's going to go for, if he's just going to drop a market, which is what's happening here, and go straight to the mythic age and see what he can get with the Great Flood. At this point, we're still not seeing we're still not seeing a mythic age coming through for Tigerboss. He's getting his town centers instead. A little bit safer, but it will actually give AC the Great an opportunity to get back into this game. And what I mean by that is, if you go for this safe play by getting all the town centers, the lose condition actually becomes getting gold starved. And it's very possible that a Great Flood could kill off a ton of those units, and also we could see a town center fall and a gold starve ensue. So we'll see how it's going to go here, as AC the Great hanging back here. He's going to take out the Promethean over on this side, and we are seeing Tigerboss coming through. You're going to be hitting these houses as best as he can, getting just a little bit more damage done. We do still have this uproot, which is not the best against Atlantean. It's more of a house killing god power, which will probably not work all too well on the main base here. But anyways, neither here nor there. We are now seeing Al Kwong coming through for AC the Great as he's going to be pulling back. Tigerboss is 3 town centers, though. Al Kwong, we're still seeing this fighting coming in, and we are now seeing cataphracts coming out, which are a really good counter to the heavy Murmillo. Unlike every other civilization, the Chinese kind of work in the opposite way you would think, where cavalry actually counter infantry. Infantry actually counter archers. No, they don't. But anyways, I think it's just the cavalry, the stable, which actually works that way. You get cataphracts, which counter infantry, and you get mounted archers, which counter the cavalry, for example, and then the scout cavalry counters archers. So we do see the uproot coming in onto this location. You can see those buildings getting just slightly tickled here. They're not gonna, it's not gonna do all too much damage. We are seeing this Yangshi getting some good damage, and Yangshi is actually one of the most annoying raiding units in the game because it heals itself back up. If it uses its special ability and it doesn't take too much damage, it can actually heal itself back up, as we are seeing the Great Flood being used on this location, and the town center doesn't quite fall here, as the Great Flood going to hit the hometown center as well. Not going to finish that one off. The citizens don't even die here, and that Great Flood did next to no damage in this game. Tigerboss is so far in front, and that is definitely due to one of the changes that happened to Great Flood in the Meta Plays patch, getting a limit on the damage it can actually do. What would have normally happened here is those villages would have actually been completely annihilated. Over here as well, more villages would have been annihilated, and now the game continues, and Tigerboss is in an incredibly strong position here. He's still pumping those villages out, putting buildings down, taking the game nice and slow, not overcommitting too much. He does have to work out how to deal with these cataphracts. The answer to cataphracts is actually cavalry. Funnily enough, you have to think about the cataphract as kind of, oh, that's so brutal there. You have to think about the cataphract as kind of a Hypaspist sort of unit, as the Azure Dragon is going to be moving in here. You can just take those here, Murmillo, and take this one out if you so choose. As we are seeing, AC the Great now going to be grabbing this town center, but there is already a palace up on this position, as the villagers are going to get pulled, going to attempt to take this one down. Destroyer going to come in as well. The units all moving in onto this position, and in that moment, we do see AC the Great tapping out. GG, well played by Tigerboss. A really solid strategy here from Tigerboss, managing to counter what AC the Great was trying to do by just saying, all right, you're going hard on the early game. I'm going to pull back in my base. I'm going to eat my pigs. I'm going to eat my berries. I'm going to go for a little raid, just put a little bit of pressure, light pressure on. And AC the Great just didn't know what to do in response to the mass Murmillo that was coming out. So when you see that, and you see the double military barracks, for example, and you see the lack of Terma, it's really important to get those archers out, or cut production completely when you see your opponent walking into their base. Go straight to the heroic age and start making cataphract as another option. But we saw neither of those from AC the Great here, as he just kind of was trying to keep the pressure up, but there was nothing to pressure. So funnily enough, maybe after the early game pressure, a second town center might have even been a way to go here on this town center or something. Good to get access to these berry bushes, get the domestication, be happy with that, and then play for the late game, because I do feel like China probably, especially Fuji, probably still has an advantage in the late game against Oranos. We didn't see anything like that, and Tigerboss gets the first win here in this game. Really nice play from Tigerboss. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.